So, in working with the group, the Film Heroes, in this class, I found it very interesting on what we were able to do with the whole fact that when we first got together, we were just simply going to be discussing the aspects of film and what that was really all about and everything. But as it started going along, we realized that we weren't really advocating for anything, even after our first podcast that we did where we actually sat down and talked. But then we realized that what we could start advocating for was how ethical that the film industry was being, or rather how unethical it could be at times, whether it be with whitewashing, not really staying true to the works of authors, rebooting and just creating sequels, not being logical in their film process with science, even the music of filmmaking, how it could be really unethical. And so I think that was one issue that we struggled with for a little bit, was actually finding what we wanted to advocate for. But once we found it, we were able to work towards it. It sucks that we got a little bit late balled on it, because it was almost the middle of the semester by the time we actually truly found out where we wanted to actually go with what we were doing. And it was just really interesting to me how we became such a large group when Jacob joined the class. We went from a group of 5 to 6, and how we were able to actually balance. And we did have a lack of communication in the beginning, but then we developed the group chat and were able to communicate through there, and that actually allowed for a lot of collaboration. And here are my ideas, what should we do next? What about another podcast? And so that's what I really liked, was how allowing the group to actually communicate was a big portion of what actually made us successful towards once we actually got to where we needed to be with our advocacy part of the project. Now, there is something I would change about the class overall and with the project, and that is the text really didn't seem at most parts to be relevant to the way our project was going with being advocates for something. I feel like there could be a better textbook that includes the history of media, and also like advocacy and how it can blend together, and how media can be used to advocate for something. And because that's what I think we struggled with, was trying to tie the class in itself into the project. But overall, I think once we were able to actually start tying in the class, after we were able to connect the dots, that we were able to truly be about what the project was truly going to be, and that was the development of informing people about the film industry. Because we realized you can't ask the film industry to stop doing what it's doing, because that itself cannot happen. The film industry is not going to listen. There are too many people within the industry itself that won't just listen to people. But so what we decided to do was we were going to inform audiences of what the film industry is about, while understanding that we live in a capitalist nation where people will spend their money on whatever they want to, but just to understand the ethics of what's behind the industry that they're going to actually go into, and maybe just be like, here are some more ethical choices that you can actually choose instead. But overall, the project, I think, went fairly well. We had a little bumps in the road with communication, but once we got past the communication errors, it went smoothly. We became closer as a group. I started becoming closer friends with Logan and Jacob and Claire and Michaela through this. And Joe and everyone, we just started becoming closer, and I really liked that. So that's something I like about it. I like about the class and the project, was it created a sense of us being closer together as a group. But something I didn't like about the class was, once again, how just it was really hard for us to really communicate on what we wanted to do in class itself because of what we needed to cover. So I would have preferred to have a few days where we could actually talk about the project in class. But other than that, it was a really fun project to work on, and it was great working with these guys, and I loved it.